Money doesn't buy happiness. How many times have you heard that expression? Well, you know what? It's true. Money doesn't buy happiness. But let me suggest something else. Poverty doesn't buy happiness either. Poverty is evil. Poverty is bad. Poverty causes people to lie and cheat and steal, even to kill. So there's nothing inherently spiritual about poverty, right? So we're going to explore the subject of prosperity, because of course this is Prosperity University, and my name is Randy Gage. I'm going to be your dean through this university. So let's begin with a little exploration into what exactly is prosperity. Because I think for most people, depending on your mindset and how you view life, prosperity probably falls into one of two different categories for you. Category number one would be freedom. Category number two would be security. So if it's a freedom, a lot of guys are into freedom. They're into, yeah, I want to be able to buy a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and a Bentley and, you know, fire my boss and do what I want to do, whatever I want to do it, and they're really driven by freedom. Other people, and more women are in this category, are driven by security. They say, hey, I want to pay off the house, pay off the credit card debt, pay off the cars, have enough money in the bank to know we're taken care of. We're set. Right? So depending, either way you could be, and so of course everybody's got a mixture of the two, the percentage is different. But how would we define prosperity altogether? What does it really make up? Because it's not just money and material things, but it does include money and material things. And it's important that we make that distinction. Because you never want to hear, you know, you'll hear people sometimes say, well, it's just money or it's just things. Well, you don't want to say that, because remember, everything at its ultimate level is always energy vibrations. So energy can be attracted or it could be repelled. So when you say things like it's just money or it's just things or a car just takes you from point A to point B, you actually repel that energy. And we don't want to do that if we want to have prosperity in our life. Now, we also know that there are wonderful things that are part of prosperity that are free. We could go walk along the beach and listen to the waves. We can watch the sun come up, and we could watch the sun set. We can watch a kitten playing with a ball of yarn or a little baby playing with a plastic key, and there's probably no better demonstration of prosperity than that. But if you asked me to really define it, I would say it is living a life of meaning, living a life of joy, a life of abundance, a life that is fun, a life of adventure. I promise you this, if your life is boring, it's not the life you were meant to live. You were meant to live an adventure. You were meant to be healthy, happy, and prosperous. So what I would define prosperity is having enough money so you can get the money thing out of the way. So money isn't an issue. You order what you want to order on the menu from the left side, not the right side where the prices are. You pick the car, the dream car that you want to drive. You live in your dream homes that you really want to live in with your family. You have the people around you that bring joy and wonder and meaning to your life. So you get the money thing out of the way, and then you get whatever the things are. And maybe you like exotic sports cars, maybe you want a bungalow in the rain jungle, maybe a rainforest, maybe you want a chalet on the top of a mountain at a ski resort. Whatever those things are, the things that enhance your life, bring joy to your life, those are part of prosperity. And then, of course, it's got to be health, relationships, connection with your spiritual source. So I think all of those things together, that's what makes up the definition of prosperity. So what are we going to do in Prosperity University? There's 6 different lessons, 6 different videos that we're going to go through, and I want to share with you what they are so you can get an idea if you think this program is right for you. And I hope it is, because this is just a fascinating topic. It's so much fun, and I think it leads us to that development of becoming a prosperous person. Because that's what it's about. You say, you know, how do you, Jim Rohn used to say, you know, if you win $1 million in the lotto, you better become a millionaire quickly or you're going to lose the money. Because that's what prosperity is about, is becoming the kind of person that's worthy of prosperity, that deserves it. And we all deserve it, but it's knowing you're worthy of it, knowing you're deserving of it, and providing enough value to the universe so you get the prosperity back. So, 6 segments, let's talk about what they are. Segment number 1, the only free cheese is in the mousetrap. Why am I starting there? Because like when I'm on TV and they say, well, okay, tell me your whole philosophy about prosperity in one sentence, that's how I define it. The only free cheese is in the mousetrap. Because all true prosperity is a value for value equation. So in the first lesson, we're going to look at how do you create enough value so the universe rewards you with prosperity. Lesson number 2, we're going to look at the 7 spiritual laws of prosperity. These are the laws you have to live by to manifest prosperity in your life. And by the way, the law of attraction is not one of them. So if you're thinking, okay, so you mean all I have to do is watch The Secret 27 times and my Lamborghini's going to drive in my driveway? This is the wrong program for you, because that's not what it's about. There's 7 specific laws we're going to look at that you have to live in accordance with those principles, and then you manifest prosperity. And there's something very similar to what they're calling the law of attraction and The Secret. And by the way, I love The Secret, by the way. I have a lot of friends in that movie. So it's just that that's a very surface or superficial look as an introductory look at prosperity. So I'm really grateful that that movie came out, because it's introduced a lot of people to the principles of prosperity. But to really manifest it, you know, I'm sure you got to get deeper than just, hey, I'm going to watch this 27 times and sit here and think about it and everything's going to happen. It doesn't work that way. Lesson number 3, I'm calling it get away from Pookie and Ray Ray, because that is about one of the most important lessons in prosperity: how to deal with negative people. What happens when you work with negative people? What happens when your friends are negative? You're surrounded by people who don't believe in you, people who don't believe in the kind of principles and philosophies that we're talking about in this university. What if you're married to a negative person? I get that question a lot. That's what we're going to look at in segment number 3, how you handle those situations so you can continue to move forward, not let them drag you backward. Number 4 class, we're going to look at how to stop self-sabotage. And that's the biggest issue of all. You're going to see that it's not about external stuff. It's not the economy, your boss, none of that matters. When you develop true prosperity consciousness, you're in control and you manifest your own prosperity. So that's what we're going to look at in lesson number 4. Number 5, we're going to look at how do you escape the matrix. Now, what do I mean by the matrix? We're going to look at memes, the science of memetics, or memes, which is simply the scientific term we use for mind viruses, which are just like viruses you'd get on your computer hard drive. You can get mind viruses, and these come in the form of limiting beliefs that you get programmed with these mind viruses, and then you replicate them and you repeat them and you live them out. Things like money is bad, rich people are evil, it's spiritual to be poor. So we're going to look at those, how to blow up and eviscerate those negative mind viruses and replace them with positive, empowering mind viruses. And then finally, in show number 6, the last one, we're going to look at your prosperity tipping point. Meaning, kind of like if you remember the book, if you read that book, everything gets to a certain point where then when it tips, it really, everything's, now you're pushing the snowball downhill instead of pushing the snowball uphill. We're going to look at what you have to do to get to that point where the positives outweigh the negatives and things start to really accelerate in your growth and development and your manifestation of prosperity. So I hope you join me in this program. Last thing I will say, you may say, well, so what qualifies me to become the dean of Prosperity University? You're probably wondering, is there like courses you can major in prosperity at the universities? How many PhDs do I have? Well, the answer is very simple. I am qualified to be the dean of Prosperity University because I did it in the real world. And my education qualifications are exactly 0. I have no college degrees. I don't have a high school diploma. I was expelled from Madison West Senior High School in the 9th grade or 8th grade, 9th grade, I guess. So, but what I did is I'm a guy who was a minimum wage dishwasher who went out and became a multimillionaire. A guy who was sick who went out and got healthy. A guy who was in negative, dysfunctional relationships who went out and created positive, empowering relationships. A guy who, and it even sounds crazy to say it, but I'm the happiest person I know. How many people can say that? But I really am the happiest person I know. So what this Prosperity University is about, it's not esoteric stuff, it's not abstract theories, it's not book reports of stuff I read. I'm just going to share with you what worked in my life and what didn't work. What are the experiences I went through? What are the lessons I learned? And how did I manifest prosperity on the physical plane? So I hope you join me for that. You'll see a link down here on the website somewhere how to sign up to get all 6 lessons, and I look forward to working with you. Thanks, everybody.